So you're learning whatever language you're learning, right? And you probably got yourself one of these, a vocabulary book about the vocabulary, grammar, sentence structures, reading, etc. in it, so you can help, yourself learn the language, right? And you have good intentions, you're using this so you can be fluent. And I just want to go on a tangent and talk about how this is one of the worst yet best purchases I have purchased in my language learning journey. Shall we continue? All right, so this lesson we're talking about questions, fun phrases, and things like that. And it's like mixing up previous vocabulary that I've learned prior, which has a lot to do with like house vocabulary, like different rooms around the house, different house objects, things like that. And in this question, it's talking about how you add no in front of a question to like negate something. Por ejemplo, yo no quiero una lavanderia en el desván, which translates to I don't want a laundry room in the attic. Now, this is trying to tell me, like, it's kind of trying to test my comprehension from the prior subjects, right? The prior lessons. However, when you curate sentences that would literally never come out of somebody's mouth, it kind of defeats the purpose of learning a new language. While I get the intent behind it, I was trying to trick you and add sentences, like nobody would ever form this sentence under any circumstances. So it's just like, this could also be like a time waster. I don't want a laundry room in the attic. Like there was no other way to kind of form a sentence to test my prior knowledge to laundry room and attic. Maybe like, yo no quiero una lavanderia en mi casa. Something like that. I don't want a laundry room in my house. Maybe you're building a house and the builder is asking you, do you want a laundry room or do you want one near this? Like something that makes sense in an actual conversation. Nobody would ever form these words to make this sentence. And that's why it's just like, I mean, I get it. I know these words, but like, I'm not gonna retain this. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Let's move on to the next bullshit example. This sentence, I have to translate these sentences in Spanish, and again, this kind of tested me based off the lessons that I learned before with these vocabulary words. This sentence says, the girl is to the right of the giraffe, and I said, la chica está a la derecha de jirafa. So this is testing me on my animal vocabulary as well as my directions vocabulary. When would you ever say that? Unless you are in a wild safari and you guys are running away from a giraffe, like this is Jurassic Park or something like that. Like, it's just like, there's no other way to like form a sentence like this. Cause it's like, I'm not gonna retain these vocabulary words with bullshit sentences like this. Another one, my neighbor is not upstairs. La vecina no está arriba. Why would my neighbor be upstairs in my house? And why would I say my neighbor is not upstairs? I would say their name. Maybe I'm on the phone with the police and somebody broke into my house. I think it's my neighbor, and I go upstairs and I check. My neighbor is not upstairs. I wouldn't say that. It's like, as helpful as this book is being, it's creating lessons and things that I'm not going to retain. And the point of me being fluent in this language is to learn things that I'm going to retain so I can have conversations. This is my beef with just language books in general, right? So in this lesson, it's making me read a short passage that identifies somebody significant, right, I guess. And the issue with this is this assumes that you have a deep knowledge of America, whether that be celebrities, historical figures, politicians, government officials. While it's like, if you don't have that knowledge, you're just kind of like sitting down reading irrelevant things that you're never going to I guess the story that I'm trying to put in here is language books often have a lot of things that you are not going to retain, and then it's just like, am I wasting my time? I don't know. I read this entire passage. I don't know who any of these people are. And not because this is in Spanish, but because I don't give a fuck about America to that extent. This is information that I will never need to translate in a Spanish conversation unless maybe I meet somebody and they're interested in American politics and we having a conversation about this, when is that going to happen to anybody? I don't know. I'm going to keep finishing this book because I paid for it. And while I find value in it, if you're learning a language, do not, like, this should not be like your primary source of learning the language. A textbook? Are you kidding me? This is basically like what we complained about in America, is how we learn Spanish and French and stuff in school. It's a whole bunch of stuff you're not going to be able to use. It doesn't teach you how to have an actual conversation with somebody. But a lot of this stuff I've been using. El banco, la iglesia, el restaurante. Like, it's some vocabulary in here, but when they get to testing you in these lessons, it's like, who speaks like that?